Hi, it's me, YG Mango, and a while ago, it's actually one of the most viewed videos on my channel. Really not that many views. Um, but yeah, so I made a Fluffle vid, a Fluffle deck profile. And in that deck profile, I said it wasn't very good. But so yeah, now I'm coming you with the updated profile, which is it works now. Works very good. So yeah, um, two card combo for VFD. I'll show that off later in the video. But yeah, let's just run through this, get started. So yeah, so at first we're playing 3 Fluffle Dog. This is just your rota for the deck. Incredibly powerful. 9 times out of 10, this is what you want your normal summon. Oh, 8 times out of 10, this is what you want your normal summon to be. So yeah, here's Fluffle Penguin. So this is the other this is 1 time out of 10 that this is your normal summon, because very simple effect. When this card not when this card is summoned, but you can just special summon any Fluffle from your hand. Yeah, it's a not a +1, it's technically neutral. But yeah, this just gets another Fluffle body out onto the field. I don't know why you wouldn't play it. And its other effect, when it uses its other effect is busted. So when it uses a fusion material, you get to draw 2, discard 1. That's the entire effect. And a lot of the cards in this deck do have effects engrave and or activate when they're sent to the grave. So yeah, this is very powerful. Just getting to draw 2 and discard 1 and a special summon from your hand. Penguin is very powerful. So next up, we are playing 2 Dolphin. So Dolphin is quite good. So you can set a toy vendor from the grave. So its effect, you can set a toy vendor, and then if you do, you can mill a Fluffle from your deck to the grave. That's quite good. Sending the toy vendor, reoccurring the toy vendor. Toy vendor is not once per turn, so you can keep on searching off it. It's very strong. Yeah, and then so the milling the Fluffle from the grave to the grave is also very good. So you can mill anything, but 9 times out of 10 you want to mill Fluffle wings. And so wings has effect in grave if you have a toy vendor on the field, which you will have because of Dolphin setting it. You can banish itself and another Fluffle, then draw 2 cards. Pretty strong if I, do say so myself. Draw 2 cards. It's already pretty strong. Then you can destroy the toy vendor, and toy vendor's effect when it's destroyed, sent to the grave, you get to search a Fluffle or an Edgem Sabers, which is not once per turn. You just constantly keep, you'll probably, if you're a Fluffle player and you haven't, sent your toy vendor to the grave, 12 times in one turn, then, you're a bit of a failure. But yeah, so, Dolphin's pretty good. And it's a level 4 Aqua, so is Penguin. You can normal summon Penguin, special summon Dolphin, maybe use Dolphin's effect, and you can summon Bahamut Shark, and Bahamut Shark summons out a Toad, and Toad is a free negate. So yeah, pretty good. So yeah, next we have 2 of Fluffle Bear. Playing 2 of Fluffle Bear because getting toy vendors is a little bit easier now with Fluffle Dolphin. So Fluffle Bear, you can discard this card, set a toy vendor, not search, not send, set, so the opponent cannot Ash Blossom you, which it comes in handy a little bit of the time. And if you have one of these guys and you have coincidentally the next card that I'm going to show you, Fluffle Wings, you can discard the bear, set a toy vendor, activate the toy vendor discards wings, you get to draw the card. If toy vendor does its thing, then wings engrave, you're completely set up. You have the toy vendor, you have a Fluffle, and you have the wings. Wings banish itself and bear. Destroy the toy vendor, search, draw 2 and search. It's pretty cool 2-card combo to just get 3 cards into your hand easy like that. But yeah, so next, like I said, we do have Fluffle Wings, and you want to play 2 Fluffle Wings. You probably only proc this guy twice, and he really has no other usages outside of banishing himself to get the draw 2. And that's fine, because, if your effect is as powerful as draw 2, then you really don't need any other effects. So yeah, next, 3 1-0s that we play in this deck, and I'll just run through them real quick. So Sheep, you can special summon himself, then you can bounce a Fluffle back to your hand to set, to special summon a Edge Imp from your grave. If you normal summon a dog, you can special summon him, bounce the dog back to your hands, summon the Edge Imp, and you get to use the dog for next turn. It's a +1. It's +1. There's no inherent downside to the effect, but sometimes it doesn't really help as much as you'd like it to. So next we have Owl. Owl really ranges from being incredibly good to the worst Fluffle card in the entire deck, in the entire archetype. It also is kind of a problem that it does take up your normal summon. You can special summon it, but there aren't really that many ways to special summon it. This deck is really reliant on the normal, and most of the time you really want to get out that dog to search out your search up your combo starters. So sometimes you just really can't afford to summon this guy, but this deck really cannot play without Poly. And what this guy does is that he searches a Poly, or you can pay 500 life points to fusion summon without using Poly. If you don't have Poly, then you just pass, basically, with this deck. And, sometimes you just really need that Poly, so it is worth running this guy at 1. And then we have Fluffle Cat. As I told you before, Poly is really important in this deck, and whenever a cat uses the fusion summon, you get to add back the Poly to your hand. That's just the Poly back. Very useful, helps you keep on playing and keep on extending. Next we have... next we're moving on to the Edge Imps. So I play 6 Edge Imps. So I play 3 Scythe. This shouldn't be too controversial, I don't think. 3 Scythe allows you to special summon, fusion summon on the opponent's turn, which is very powerful. You can trigger effects such as Whale to pop a card on their field, and Scythe's other effect, where he can banish himself to protect, is very good. And it says if monsters are destroyed, so if they torrential you, then you can just use this to blanket protect everything, all your frighters. So a very good card. It's a hand trap. So next we are playing 2 Edge Imp Chain. This guy has an effect whenever he's sent, you can add a Fright for card, so you can add cards like Fright for Fusion, which is very useful for when making things like VFD, and is essential to the combo. And you can also search really powerful cards like Fright for Patchwork, which just seriously can really save you, unbrick a hand. Chain is very good. And then we have Saber's his effect. Sometimes putting a card back on, it's neutral. You get to put a card back to the top of your deck and then special summon it. It's an alright effect. But in Fluffles, with the amount of cards that you get to draw, that's because you really burn through cards really fast, and putting a card and breaking up your deck as well, back to the top is sometimes it's too hefty for the cost. It's really sometimes it's not worth that, but you do play this card because of its name, Edge Imp Sabers, because then you can summon in cards like Fright for Tiger, and Fright for Tiger has a pretty broken effect. Some cases you can just destroy the entire opponent's board, or you can just get rid of those key cards. It can gain ridiculous amounts of attack points, and it has to have Edge Imp Sabers as material. That's basically why I play it. Moving on to hand traps. These hand traps really change depending on the format. Right now, Droll is really good because of things like Tritron and Virtual Worlds, and I guess Fluffle. If you see another Fluffle player, you have a mirror match, then this card's very good against Fluffle, so is Lancia. These can really be interchanged between formats. This used to be Imperm, but Imperm really isn't good right now. Drone Lock, very good. Ash is a little bit better now, especially against Virtual Worlds. Ashing that Foolish is very good. So yeah, 3 Ash. Really nothing much to say there. You know what they do. They're quite powerful cards. Moving on to the spells. So 3 poly. This deck cannot play, like, just full on cannot play without poly. Which is why you want to run 3. And there really isn't that many ways to get this card. But yeah, speaking of ways to get this card, Patchwork. This is single-handedly the best, like, it's the best. It's the best card in the deck. It allows you to search a poly and an edge imp. I don't know. What do I say? Like, even if you don't play Fluffles, getting a poly and, you know, any other card, it's a +1. And I'm sure just everyone here can just, like, see why this card's very good. And being able to search relatively unsearchable cards like poly, it's very powerful. So, yeah. This card is also essential, is one card of the 2-card combo to make VFD. Just saying that, like, yeah. That's how powerful it is. So yeah, then we have Toy Vendor. This card is really fun and busted to play. It's not once per turn, so you can just keep on sending it to the grave and keep on searching cards. It's amazing, and it allows you to get the Wings draw, because Wings cannot activate if you do not control a Toy Vendor on the field, which is, I guess, one downside of that card. Then we have Foolish Burial Goods. So, you play this card, you can send a Toy Vendor effect, you can search a Fluffle or an edge imp. Very powerful. You also play Metal Fist Fusion. You don't usually send this card, but sometimes you can, especially in late game, you might do this. You can also discard this card off Toy Vendor, I guess. So yeah, just the one Metal Fist Fusion. Then we have Fright Fairy Fusion. This card helps you get out VFD, or if you're in late game, then it can, like, really, you know, save you. It's basically just Overload Fusion. And yes, in late games, you'll be struggling for materials, and, you know, just to be able to use your graveyard as a material, that's very good. Especially in late game, to, you know, really help you out. And then last is Fright for Repair. People are I feel like people are sleeping on the first effect, but usually all you really use this guy for is the second effect. So, Cruel Whale has another effect where you can target itself and send a Fright for a card from your deck, and then it gains half of its original attack. The attack really won't matter most of the time, because sometimes you just do it when you're going first. But to send this card, and this card has an effect where you can banish it to add a Fluffle back to your hand. What can I say? Very good card. I mean, yeah. So its first effect allows you to summon some stuff back. It requires setup, and I don't know. It's not that good, but I feel like people are sleeping on it. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. Next we have the extra. So this is not as optimized as, actually, I mean, it's pretty optimized. But yeah, so first we have 2 Fright for Sabretooth. Sabretooth helps you make rank 8 super easily. It revives your fusion monsters in the grave, and helps with OTKs. Kraken, which is part of the OTK. So, if you have Kraken has the effect where you can send a monster to the grave. So this can out things like Winder, because you'll only need the one special summon to special summon this guy, and then he can just send the Winder to the grave. He can also attack twice, which is very powerful, but if he sends a card to the grave, he cannot attack directly that turn, but he can still just attack. Attacking twice and, you know, the send, and he's level 8, quite good. There is a... I'll go through the combos later, the couple of combos I have. So, yeah, next we have Fright for Cruel Whale. This is the guy making your VFDs, and you summon him with, Edge Scythe, on the opponent's turn to get a quick pop on their field. Tiger, good for wiping boards. Linkuribo, I guess it's a good staller, but it helps get your wings into the grave if you have no way how. No way to. Then there's just the IP and Nightmare Unicorn package. This card can, you know, really stop some decks, and, you know, sometimes you'll just have some extra cards on the field. If you have Appaloosa, then don't play either of these. Just, I mean, maybe play the IP. Don't play the unicorn, just play Appaloosa. That's what you should be putting your, just random cards on the field for, but, I don't have Appaloosa. So if I just have random cards on the field, I'll, make IP, and, yeah, use the other one for unicorn. So next we have Dingisu. Dingisu is for outing things like Dragoon and Megaclops. Pretty straightforward. Calamities, Calamities because it's broken. Then we have Baja and Toad package. Pretty obvious. And then we have Abyss Dweller. This, I'm not too sure how much I like about it, but, BA, it auto wins, and Drytrons, it can really stagger that deck a lot. I have been, like, contemplating replacing with Genator Transverser. They do, like, they have about the same amount of impact, and you won't be summoning it, very regularly anyway. But yeah, so I am going to get into some combos for this deck. Alright, so first we have our very simple, 2-card VFD combo. So this can be, any, Fluffle, but yeah. So you can, like, go about this different ways. If you just have the poly in the edge of your hand, that also works, but yeah. So, this can be anything. So you can activate the, Patchwork to add yourself. It has to be Chain, and search out a poly. So if you already have these in your hand, then, same thing, but this makes it a 2-card combo, so yeah. Then all you need to do is you need to activate Poly, Fuse, Dog, and Mom. Any Fluffle and Chain. When Chain's sent to the grave, it'll search you out a Fusion. And so with these 2 cards, you want to summon out... Someone's, like, screaming in the backyard. You want to summon out Whale. So yeah, this will trigger searching out the Fusion. Activate Fusion, banish these 2. Summon another Whale. And what do you do? You can overlay summon VFD. Simple. So yeah, next small little combo. Yeah, so the next one is just also incredibly simple. You can normal summon the Penguin. Penguin can special summon the Dolphin. And then you can just overlay them. I mean, you can make Abyss Dweller as well, but I feel like this is a little bit more impactful, especially if you don't know what you're going against. So if you do, then, like, summon Abyss Dweller if it's, like, BA or something. And then, just casually, not casually, just, yeah, do as you normally do. Detach one from Baja, summon Toad. Yeah, that's really about it for this combo. Pretty small. Yeah, so next we have the Wings and Fluffle Bear combo. So, you can just discard the bear, set the toy vendor, activate toy vendor, toy vendor discards the wings, and then you get to, I mean, the deck's not shuffled anyway, you get to draw the card. If it's Fluffle, reveal it, do stuff. Toy vendor does toy vendor things. Then you can use the, wings in the grave. You can banish itself and bear, which will destroy, and then wings destroys the toy vendor. You get to draw twice, and you get to search for a Fluffle or Edge in Sabers. That's just incredibly powerful. Yeah. I think that is, I mean, all the main combos, I can think of with this deck. Really, with this, with decks like this with Fluffles, there isn't really a set combo. You just kind of do things when you can do them. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, OTK combo. Like, you can just go about this any other way with any other card. It really doesn't... Ooh, oopsie. Really doesn't need to be these ones. That's the thing with... Yeah, Fluffles. You just do, whatever, with whatever cards you have. So yeah. If you have a hand like this, and with, like, all the draw cards I've been telling you, 4-card combo seems a little bit big, but, it really isn't, with all the draw cards you have. So, yeah, just Poly, Fuse, Cat, and any other Frightfur you want. Special summon Kraken. Kraken can do the send if you want. If there's nothing to send, then I guess don't send. Then the cat will add back the Poly to your hand. Then you can activate the Poly, fusing the Owl and the Kraken to summon out Sabretooth. Sabretooth special summons the Kraken back from the grave. And so what Sabretooth will do, which it'll make both of them gain 400 attack. So the Kraken will be on 2/6. 2/6 times 2, because it can attack twice, equals 5/2. And the Sabertooth will be on 2/8 because of the 400 attack point boost. And 2/8 plus the 5/2 is exactly 8,000. So yeah, that's just a quick little way to OTK your opponent. But yeah, that is all for this deck profile. I really hope you enjoyed. Yeah, smash that like button, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Stay fresh.